Welcome back to the podcast. So I was thinking about this, and I've had this thought many times throughout this past year. And the thought is, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing with my life? Like, I find myself sometimes in these situations, especially when I was traveling and now, of like, I'm doing some activity that just kind of feels a little bit wild. And I'm just like, what is my life? Like, I felt this really strongly when I was in Nepal and I was smoking tobacco in rolled up dried leaves with a Nepali woman at the top of a mountain that I was staying with for like a week or whatever. And I was living in this village and I'm like smoking it with this ladies. They don't speak English, but we're communicating in such a beautiful way, like not needing it. And so here I find myself smoking this tobacco in a rolled dried leaf. And it was such a beautiful moment. But I had this moment in my mind where I'm like, what am I doing with my life? And it's kind of a little bit jarring because you're like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm in this abyss unknown, free flowing moment where you're just like, I don't like, what is this activity? Like, what am I doing? Where am I at? And I find myself craving that now more. And I actually think it's a good thing for us to feel, what am I doing? Like, having this spontaneity and doing things that are maybe outside of your comfort zone, but maybe just like a little obscure, or like you're doing an activity, or, you make a bold decision and you're just like, what is my life? What am I doing? And I think that is where we can create such like magic in our life, and have this like sense of like awe and exploration and like jumping into situations and areas where it's just gonna like allow us to thrive and allow us to like feel alive. Those moments I like really feel alive, and in my like society programmed brain I'm just like, what am I doing with my life? This seems nuts that this is my life and this is what I'm doing. But when you think about it, like, there is no structure, there is no right or wrong way to live life, even though we kind of feel like there is, like, you know and that's, I think it's explored, and it's starting to break down because a lot of us are realizing that we don't want the things that a lot of us kind of were structured or programmed to want, of, the high paying successful job, the house, the kids, the structure of like reaching these different life milestones. And even though I've never been driven in my life to reach these milestones, I've had my own specific milestones that, like, travel and other such things. But I'm not even craving these milestones, but I still find myself thinking like, whoa, I'm 30 and have, no house, no husband, no job. Well, I have a job, but it's like a temporary job. And anyways, um, I don't have any of these milestones. And so I can, even though I don't want those, I haven't wanted those, um, my programmed brain still like questions like, what are you doing? This is like, what are you doing with your life? And I just want to like speak to that like a little bit, where like sometimes um that kind of and it's not a trigger, it's just a, am I doing something wrong here? Am I really not doing what I'm supposed to be doing? And it's like this kind of innate feeling that has been programmed, and I have to reassure myself like, whoa, no, we're like living life. And I actually think that we should strive more for these moments and crave more of having these moments of like, what am I doing? And it just like spices things up and makes you really feel connected to living, in my experience. And I've had many moments where after this, where now I'm like, okay, if I live my life craving these moments, they actually, it ends up being quite beautiful. Like, this was a beautiful experience. It was a life-changing experience for me to be on the top of this mountain. It was one of those things that freaking blew me away. It was so spontaneous. It was so, quote unquote risky or whatever. Um, And I had that moment being like, what is my life right now? And I think that we could just like lean into that. We can lean into that uncomfortableness. Like maybe you want to transition out of your job, or maybe like, you break up with, you're getting divorced, you're breaking up with a long-term partner, or you just feel like you're floating into this abyss to be like, what am I doing? What do I hold on to? What do I grab onto? You know, I just like encourage you to just like continue to just like float, just like pretend like you're in space and you're just like, and just enjoy that kind of like off-footingness phase of life, because uh, you start to kind of get comfortable with that. And then you start to realize, okay, actually that's kind of like what life is. Like we're not really supposed to know. We don't know what's going to be ahead of us. Sometimes we have this false sense of security within a structured job, or we think that things like won't change, or we're in a committed relationship and we're like, this is my life, this is my structure. You feel really good about it, and then all of a sudden something like cracks or something dissolves or something changes, and you're like, now what? And in those moments of you making those decisions or that happening, you can feel very like the floor just like, falls out underneath you. And it's a very real feeling. You have to feel it. Like you have to feel that like sense of floatingness. And I'm curious if you have felt this or if like you resonate with this at all. But I think that it's an important feeling to feel. And it's also, I want to just encourage you to continue to not chase it, but like embrace those things and be like, all right, yeah, let's put ourselves into more situations where it feels like, what am I doing? This is kind of crazy. This is kind of nuts. This is kind of fun. This is, this is what like my inner child would be like, whoa, but it's okay to have those moments. It's okay to be like, what am I doing? Nobody really knows. Nobody knows what they're doing. Like, newsflash, nobody actually really knows what they're doing. We're just kind of all winging it. Some people like wing it way better than others, or they like have it together more, even though they're all winging it. Like, we're all here on Earth. We're all doing this like Earth experience and embracing this, body and this life. And we all know that we're connected to energy, and maybe we don't all consciously know all of these things, but the souls do. And it just turns to be a very beautiful experience when you look at it as an experience. How can I fully experience my life and live it? And it's okay if you have those moments to be like, what is my life? And then you get to go from there. If it's in a bad note, you get to kind of shift and be like, all right, what do I want to experience next? What do I want to bring into my life? What do I want to pull into experience? And just really relish into that, like in between, like, what am I doing? And it's okay to not know what you're doing. Like, it's okay. And I wish I was able to speak to my younger self when I was in my early 20s and even before college. I would like search how to find your purpose and how to have meaning. And I had this urgency. I had such an urgency of trying to figure out what I was supposed to be doing here, because I felt like I had to be doing something. Like, I'm here for a reason. Like, and I had such this pull, and like my mom would be like, calm down, like, you're 18, you'll figure it out. And I realized this inner calling, this inner pulling of this like big mission was my soul trying to remind me of why I came here. And I wish I could tell her, it's okay to know what you don't know what you're doing. Just keep trying things. Just keep learning. Just keep putting yourself into fun situations. Keep following your excitement. That would be the main thing. I'd be like, follow what you're excited about. Keep doing things that you're going to have fun with. Sometimes we have to like think that we're like try to achieve these different things, and a lot of us get to this point, we achieve them, and we're like, fuck, that's not what I thought it was going to be. And I hate it. And I'm going to quit my corporate job and do something else, or, change, or, whatever. So it's just like tuning in to that of like, am I doing things in my life because like I actually want to do them? Or is it just like this underneath pre-programmed thing for me to think that I think I have to go do and achieve these X, Y, Z things? And even if you're in that spot of like, yep, did that, climb that ladder, did those things, and now I realize, no, don't want to do it. Like, shift it, don't do it. Do something else. So this really just came from a little short bit to be like, how can I have more of a phrase of what am I doing with my life? And it's actually quite exciting when you embrace it, and it's okay to feel that. And nobody knows what they're doing. We're just continuously trying things on. It's just like when I had talked about like changing your appearance and changing your hair or changing different outfits or wearing different styles or shifting things. And really, you're just trying it on to be like, oh, is this for me? No, that's not it. And um, you don't need to do, or achieve anything at any point in your life. Remember that you're just innately worthy and you're just here to experience. So, what do you want to put out and experience in the world? And what do you want to give back to the world? And just like, I don't want to say push yourself. I would say find yourself in a curious spot and say, what experience can I put myself in or say yes to that is going to make me be like, what am I doing? And I think that's a sweet spot when you're there. And it's going to be uncomfortable. And it's going to be like, I'm in the abyss, and just embrace the abyss, be in the void. I've been in the void for this last maybe year and a half, 2 years. And I have to say, it's been the most freeing. And I have felt like I've been living life way different, way more than I have the past 10 years of this is structured and doing and achieving and all these things. And a lot of things have shifted, and I've talked about a lot of these things. I'll continue to, but it's just freaking freedom to be like, what do I want to experience instead of what do I have to achieve? And it's a totally different mindset. It's a totally different way to live. And I encourage you to just make a baby step towards that, to be like, what is one experience that I can put myself in? And just go for it. Just try it. Just, why not? So not sure, this is just the message that wanted to come out. So hopefully it resonates with somebody. If it does resonate and you think somebody needs to hear it, send it to them. Let me know how this lands for you. And I hope you have an incredible day and you find yourself soon saying, what am I doing with my life? And yeah, message me or tag me in the situation that urges you to say that phrase. And I'll see you next time.